No.
You know that
I don't think Mercedes would allow it.
That watching Drive to Survive.
I was going to say the same thing, but
Can we wait
back.
Can we wait till we get, actually, hold on. What's the next on the outline here? Drive to Survive is next. So go ahead.
You know.
So now we're going to talk about Drive to Survive.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're very tense.
First of all,
we just started, this weekend.
We got to talk about the
shower scene or the
sauna scene.
The sauna
scene.
Plenty of water.
What in the world?
Episode 3.
Last thing I wanted to see was an F1 driver's arse.
Wow.
Okay.
But you do see a side of Bottas.
You see a side, yeah.
Yes, you see that.
The back side.
Besides that
See that
side.
side, yeah. Couple of angles.
Where because usually if you watch Bottas with interviews and he's very very corporate, very very Finnish.
Yeah.
He's very he's very straightforward. It doesn't seem like he has any emotion. It doesn't seem like he has that oomph. But you can tell what comes across.
It's Finland. So.
No, I got you. But what comes across during that episode is that he really does have that. He has the drive. He wants to win and he wants to beat Lewis. It just doesn't seem like he knows how. And if it's
frustrating is
that? And if it's gonna be any year that he does make that Nico Rosberg-esque turn, it's gonna be this season.
They actually, in that episode 3, so they were going through. Let me take a step back. What do you guys think of the series in general, Drive to Survive?
I think it's dope. I think it gives us, because watching over the weekend now, right? It gave me a bunch of stuff from last year that were just pretty much gone over my head.
A lot of context.
You're like, on the shots, the graphics on it.
Yeah.
Some of these shots that they put off that we don't, most of the time we don't get to see on TV, they were phenomenal to me. The graphics itself as well.
It's great. You know why? Because as much as we follow Formula One throughout the year, and obviously follow it even more that we do this podcast because we love it so much, it's still compelling television. We still want to see it. Why? Because what you said. It brings more of a story to the story that we know. Yes. It digs deeper. It gives you that it pierces through the skin, and it gives you that deeper sense of what is really going on.
Episode 3, to me, Bottas talking so much, to me that was surprising too. I'm like, whoa, this guy's really going.
And it goes the same way.
Hamilton probably said no.
Christian Horner and how competitive and how he wants to just do these little things just to get under the skin.
So when we
it's something that we never saw.
Bottas, what do you think he thinks about the butt shots?
That's what he thinks. And I like that they did not bleep it on the show, by the way.
So when he won that race in Russia, he was actually talking about his butt shots?
No.
To whom it may concern, I'm showing my arse. F you.
So in general, we agree that it is it's awesome to see kind of behind the scenes, right? I much prefer this season to last season. I thought last season wasn't that great. I don't know what happened that made it not so great. It came out right before COVID, so you can't use that as an excuse.
I think first year they showed it. They made some arrangements. Second season showed, but probably went too far. Third season is super dope, and they're still not showing a lot of the private stuff.
It seems like they're not jumping around as much either.
Right.
They're not what?
They're not jumping around.
No, the episodes I think are more tailored per team.
Yeah. It's a per team, but it's not going way too far ahead. You get what I'm saying? Like before, it was like I think second season was they would follow each team. They would follow a team, and it doesn't matter if it was one of the last races of the season or one of the first races of the season. It jumped around too much, so it just gives very little context.
But they did that
story.
this year too. So like episode 3 went to like Russia, which was, a few seasons into the. I think that what they did better was that they got rid of like some of the dumb story. Like they spent way too much time like last season with the whole rich energy and how, like okay, like that was funny, but it was like it's not anything that outside of Formula One, outside of being a fan, that you're not really gonna know about and you're not really gonna care about that much. You know? I don't know.
I mean, I think also all the stuff that they show with Horner and all that other stuff, So all that stuff was dope too. Like it was some of the stuff that was done was tactical. The announcement of battle because it was Ferrari's, thousands grand, whatever. All of that stuff to me was like, oh, I didn't look at it that way when it happened. Huh. Like the protest of right before the race, all of that stuff.
that was cool. That was cool.
All of that seemed like it was very tactical done.
The other thing is that
and Horner to me was the star of this season.
With Netflix, we have our very own F1 Madden Jinx. So check this out. So you know how you make, what is the Madden?
If you make the cover of Madden, what happens is you are then jinxed for that year. So like for example, I forget like the most famous ones, but like Michael Vick was on the cover and then he ends up having a bad season, or you get hurt. Like Robert Gronkowski on the cover. The only one, like, what was it? Was it Tom Brady that was on the cover? I forget who was, or Patrick Mahomes was on the cover this past year. They made it to the Super Bowl, so like, but they lost.
But that was like the first time in like 20 years.
Yeah,
or something.
That something didn't happen. Yeah.
So here's my theory.
Go ahead.
Here's my theory. My theory is that if Netflix is following you for your home Grand Prix, you're in trouble. Because look at what happened with Mercedes.
Yeah.
When what were they?
The rain
in Germany. When they had the throwback, the leader hose exactly. And they had like the throwback livery.
The worst race of the year for them.
That was that race.
Yeah.
That Hamilton. Come
on, man.
Hamilton got the penalty.
And then this season it was Ferrari at Monza, where Seb didn't even finish qualifying, so he started 17th, and then. That was a famous shot where his brakes went during the race, and he went through all the foam. And then
that was on the show.
Yeah. And during that same race was when Leclerc got into a huge accident, went into the barriers.
They do show that a lot throughout
they actually over dramatized that. Like they put in stuff that wasn't. If you go on the Formula One Reddit, they had like a whole breakdown of like what he actually said on the onboard and what Netflix put in.
Well, I mean,
you got to dramatize it. It's got to be.
But
it's like Survivor.
That's my theory. DTS.
DTS like us. JTS.
Yes. There you go.
Jump the start.
DTS curse. if they're following you during your home Grand Prix, you're beep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Ruben, I think we're in the same spot. I'm like 9 episodes in. I'm like finishing episode number 9.
I'm on like the 5th episode.
It's a much more entertaining season. The only thing is that like I don't know. I just kind of wish they focused a little more on the on-field action. Yes. So like for example, like we had a lot of races this year that were just phenomenal, super entertaining start to finish. We didn't get a lot of that.
Yeah.
I think that if they focus more on that, it'd be instead of the drama, it'd be way more interesting for somebody coming into Formula One than, oh, this happened behind the scenes, and this is the off track, and these are the contracts. One thing I did want to mention, though, did you notice Christian Horner's mustache? Did he color that thing? It looked like it's like bright orange. When he did
I did not even notice that.
Go take a look. It's like really crazy.
I didn't notice.
It's so like it's so noticeable and distracting that like actually looks like my hat.
Carrot top.
It was bright.
Mustache?
It was bright. For reference, I'm wearing the bright pink Ayrton Senna. Happy birthday, Ayrton Senna. We're recording on Sunday.
Is that a pink?
No, that's a bright orange.
It's like a bright orange.
It's a safety orange. But if you want it to be pink, go ahead.
Pink it is. Salmon.
Am I colorblind?
I have my Salmon Ayrton Senna hat on.
These guys love roasting me.
No, I also like this guy. Mr. Smooth Opera. They focused a lot on him.
They did. Hit that again, man, because that was such a. When they asked, he was talking with his dad, and they were going through. They were talking. He was talking with his dad, and he was like, "Oh."
They asked me to do like a symphony there.
Yeah. I stopped him. I'm sorry.
Killing my flow. Go ahead.
No, so he was talking to his dad, and they were asking him. He was talking about how they asked him, "Oh, what car do you drive? Is it a Ferrari, a McLaren, whatever, or Pagani?" I drive a Golf, and they're sitting like cracking up in a VW Golf.
No, I think because they also show part of the things of him signing with Ferrari, leaving McLaren, and the Norris relationship and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was weird how they made it seemed like him and Lando had like a contentious relationship, like rivalry.
Especially on the swap episode.
Yeah, I was like, that's never been them. And
but at least it's never been shown that way.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. Like, they also give like the Drive to Survive gives like a different outtake of what could maybe be going on, even though it's over dramatized. But
yeah,
I would have loved more of Ham. Like, I guess we don't get much.
Well, it's also
the access that they give them.
Oh, how about, did you see like the episode with Ham and Angela, your girlfriend Angela?
Oh my God. Come on.
No, I thought that was cool. Like when they were just in the car driving.
Yeah, they were in the car talking and
joking around. It's like, he's actually human.
But it also shows that how competitive he is, and there was a comment where he's like, because we always leave last. And it's just how hard he works.
The day of this.
There you go.
He left afterwards.
There you go.
It was after Russia. They were like the last one to leave.
Yeah.
Because Bottas that day, I guess he didn't want to talk to nobody. I guess he didn't do much of the meetings. He just
must be nice.
Oh, he didn't. I think he didn't want to be in the. Well, it was COVID concern. That's what he said.
Well, that was an interview, but also, I don't know. It shows a lot of things about Bottas too. You know, where he lives.
Also, I thought that how Ferrari's so corporate when Sebastian Vettel was trying to joke around.
Yep. Oh,
we shouldn't really be joking.
Shouldn't laugh.
Yeah.
What? So today is a no laughing day?
Our performance is a joke.
We shouldn't be saying that.
No, it gave me more of an appreciation for, because when you're watching a race, right? Because, and this is something that like when you watch like Last Dance with the Bulls, it's something that like the top competitors just turn it on, right?
Right.
And it's something that it's nice to see Vettel as a human who is just enjoying his day, like trying to joke around, etc. And then it's like he becomes the mayor of F1 right away.
But is that a Ferrari thing where they hinder you from being yourself, maybe, or
that's what they say.
That's what they showed there on the episode.
They're more. I mean, I think every team has that aspect, but Ferrari is more of that corporate. Be aware of your image.
It's like the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, obviously, because you have teams that are successful. Ferrari is the most successful team in Formula One history.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, sometimes it can be a killjoy, especially with a guy like Vettel who loves
it's a killjoy for me to hear. Oh, the most successful, blah 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 blah.
For us, there's something wrong with it.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I should have worn my red hat so it can match with your salmon hat.